Hello Hampton Roads homeowners, and welcome back to the Allegre Real Estate channel. Today we're going to dive in with the top 10 tips for spring maintenance so that your home's ready for the warmer months ahead. The number one tip for the top 10 is going to be inspecting your roof. The roof is your first line of defense for your home. You need to make sure that it's in great shape. You need to check things like the flashing, make sure there's no loose shingles, and make sure there's no leaks for the roof. Sometimes it's hard to spot, but if you go up in your attic, you may be able to see dark spots in the wood or other signs that there may be a leak. At any sign of trouble, make sure you call a professional so they can help you take care of that roof. Moving on to number 2, and that's going to be checking out your gutters. It's very important to make sure your gutters are free of debris and there's no loose areas in the gutter system that will cause additional leaks, because your gutters are ultimately moving the water away from your home, and that's protecting your foundation. If you happen to have a lot of trees in the area, you may have installed gutter guards on your gutters. If so, check to make sure they're in good repair as well, as you will save you money in the long run if everything is working well. Now that we're finished with the roof and the gutters, let's go ahead and check on those doors and windows. We want to make sure that all the seals are good and in working order, and if they're not, you can go ahead and caulk around the windows, make sure there's no air gaps. You want to do the same thing for the doors. It's very important to do this, not only to increase the energy efficiency of your home, because we all like to save a little bit of money in the summertime when the AC is not working so hard, but it also helps keep out those critters so they don't get in your home and ruin your day. Now that we've checked out those windows and doors, it's time to turn our attention to the HVAC. Just like we said, in the summertime, your HVAC is going to work a little extra harder because the temperatures are going to be warmer out here in the Hampton Roads area. You want to make sure you're working at peak proficiency. It's a great time to check the filters in your home so that it can be running nice and smooth for the HVAC. And also you want to make sure you're just servicing that HVAC twice a year, once in the springtime and then again in the fall. You should get on a routine with a local service company, and they can take care of all those AC issues that may come up and do some preventative maintenance. Trust me, you'll thank me in the long run when you're not having hot summer days. Number 5 is going to be checking out our exterior siding and paint. Now that we're checked the HVAC, we're good on the inside, all the windows, sealed everything up there, let's go back out to the outside and check our siding and paint. Super critical to do this. You don't want to have anything that's peeling or anything that's cracking that could allow moisture to get towards the home, and it overall doesn't look good for your curb appeal. If you see any signs of cracking, or if you need to do some repainting, touch it up. If it's a little bit bigger job, you may think about hiring a painting professional to redo the whole exterior of the home and make it look nice and fresh for the springtime. Moving on to number 6, and that's going to be an inspection of your foundation or your crawl space. Depending on how your house was built, you may be on a slab, which means you have a concrete flat surface that the home was built upon, or you may have a crawl space. If you have a crawl space, that means you're going to have a cavity underneath your home that's open, and most of your ductwork and plumbing will be there. These are critical components to a home because it's literally the foundation of your house. If you don't have a good foundation in anything, life, homes, marriages, probably not going to last very long. And we want your home to last a long time so you can live in it, be happy with your family, and have many, many years of memories ahead. With that being said, the foundation needs to be looked at because it's often overlooked and people just kind of want to ignore it. Let's not do that. Let's take a visual inspection, make sure it seems to be in good working order, and that would mean you don't see excessive moisture down there, you don't get under there and see any kind of crazy critter activity under there, no one's building a nest under your home. We don't need anyone building a home under your home. So this is one of the areas that's often overlooked and should definitely check it out during the springtime, make sure it's ready to go for the summer and ultimately through those winter months. Our number 7 tip is all about safety, and that's going to be checking your smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors. Ideally, you should have both in your home because you never know when you might need them, and when you need them is when you want to have them. When you're checking those out, you want to make sure that the batteries are in good working order. I would recommend just go ahead and replace the batteries if you can, if it's easy to reach, because you don't exactly know when the last time you may have checked the batteries are, and it's better to replace them before they start doing the crazy beeping noise that drives all of us nuts. So after you're checking the smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, keep one thing in mind. It may be attached to your alarm system, and if it is, just make sure that you may need to notify somebody about that, or if an exterior alarm is going to be acknowledged when the alarm goes off or when you're testing, so that you don't unexpectedly have some firefighters or police officers show up to your home. Tip number 8 is all about the landscaping. Making sure any trees that you have in the yard or shrubs that you may have are nice and trimmed up. You don't want to be that neighbor on the block that looks like you're having the Amazon rainforest growing and everyone else takes a look at you like, hey, where's George of the Jungle going to come flying out of, do you? No, you definitely don't. You want to make sure you have a nice manicured lawn and you're presenting a great curb appeal. Not just to sell your home, but every day so that the neighbors are looking at your home and your home is the envy of the block. For tip number 9, it's going to be about pressure washing your home's exterior surfaces. This can include your siding if you have vinyl siding, or if you have the wood shake, It depends, but they all need to be pressure washed. In addition to that, any fencing that you may have, your driveways, all those should be pressure washed. They may grow mold or mildew in this area in Virginia, a lot of high humidity, a lot of different things grow around here. You just want to make sure you're washing that off and it doesn't get too out of hand. It ultimately will improve your curb appeal, and curb appeal is great to have in a neighborhood. Last but not least, but tip number 10 is about fertilizing and aerating your lawn. You may not be familiar with aerating your lawn, but what it is a machine goes either with little spikes or little spindles and puts holes throughout the lawn. It helps that the soil be less compacted, and it also helps your lawn grow a little bit better. Something to think about doing every couple of years for a nice little lush green lawn. The other part is fertilizing your lawn. In the springtime or before it gets too warm is a great time to fertilize the lawn. That's all going to depend though on what type of lawn you have. Often in this area, we're going to have Bermuda grass, which is usually cut a lot shorter, and you'll fertilize it throughout this season pretty heavily. If you do have the other type of grass that's common in this area, you may be fertilizing throughout all the seasons as it grows well in the fall months and in the winter. And that would be the tall fescue. That's where you're going to see nice luscious green lawns throughout the entirety of the year, where Bermuda gets a little bit of brown around the edges and throughout the lawn in the wintertime. Either way, fertilization, aeration, can't go wrong. Take care of those lawns and have great curb appeal. So there you have it, Hampton Roads homeowners. That's our top 10 list of things that you can do in the springtime to make sure your home is ready to go for those summer months ahead. If you liked what you heard today and you want to follow about more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up for the like, and hit the ding for the notifications to come across on your phone. You don't want to miss the next update, as you never know what we're going to put out next. Stay tuned and find out more.